calling you a radical, there's so much to talk about here, and I never say no. And I was asked to do this video by folks. Don't you love that? Hey folks, fuck, you want to hang yourself. When I want to speak to the next, some fucker calls me folks, I'll slug him in the fucking mouth. So the Detroit River, the catastrophe that's going there, the uranium tailings that are pouring into the Detroit River, which has a loop. Water? Oh yeah, remember when Obama drank his fake water at Flint, Michigan? And so, they never fixed it. Who went to jail on that? The low-lying fruit, you know, and so the people that cover them, but they're useful idiots as they call them. So let's talk about this. It's cold. So, not only that, where do those uranium tailings come from? There is so much, now apparently when I find out, Wayne County's the worst, but there is so much nuclearism, we almost lost Detroit. Remember that book? Fermi? Let's quote Fermi, which I still say possibly could be Jeff Bezos' father. Look at the pictures. Jeff Bezos' real father is, what's his name, his real father? From Los Alamos? Oh yeah, the club. You know, and so, who died in La Jolla, California, right next to Lille, very young. Fermi on Trinity. Now, by the way, Los Alamos is plumb full of people from this school. My 8th grade history teacher, Tracy Hall. What? Los Alamos all Mormons? Why do you think New Scale from Hell is pointing? So, Fermi. I bet $1 it kills everybody in New Mexico, Trinity. Oppenheimer rejected the whole nuclear thesis. So did Sakharov. So did all of them, almost, except, you know, Teller from Heller. So I pissed on his grave, by the way. So let me explain something to the centrifuge process. And this is the lie you've been shammed. I mean, I've heard Kathleen Higgison up there at Oregon State spew this. You know, Oregon U as it kills the Pacific Ocean. Fukushima, 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 Fukushima. Uranium's natural from the earth. That'd be uranium-238. So what do they do with uranium-238? They mine a tremendous... So this is the university that built. I've renamed the university. It used to be called Weber. Now it's Me-ber, but I've changed it officially to this is the fish. Weber State is now Nuke U. You know, as I've been blackballed here. And by the way, my PhD is ongoing. This is an ongoing, the world's greatest PhD. It's ongoing. Who's going to peer review me? Oh, please. Try that one. These guys who have the golden nuclear handcuffs on. So they centrifuge it. What's that? They take these mass, giant amounts of uranium mined, which they leave these tailings behind to poison you. Ask the freaking Navajos on the res. Then they put it into a centrifuge, and they are giant tubes where they spin it, the centrifugal force. They throw a gas to it, and it creates a reaction. So these molecules from the uranium start flying around at this tremendous speed. They don't split the atom, they crash the atom. So the atoms crash into each other. No hell below us, above us only chemtrailed skies. When the atom collides, that's the reaction that they're looking for. Right here in Utah, Karen Silkwood on Balco, Western Zirconium right behind my house, which by the way, Westinghouse bankrupt, took Toshiba down with them. Trump bailed them out. Nuclear bailout. Yucca, yucca. Now he's saying no yucca because he needs them in the election after he said pro yucca. So they collide together. Then they, for every less than 1% of the 100, you can understand this, right, kids? You know, for every bit this much, after they get done, they get this much. So they have to, you know, less than 1% of the original uranium turns into nuclear fuel. They shove it in zirconium rods. Those rods go in the reactor. The reactor creates the exchange. The exchange contains madness, which basically heats up water. All reactors, water come in, which boils water, which creates steam, which the steam turns the turbine. So, what is the byproduct of this centrifugal process? Not all that old. They're called free radicals. What's a free radical? How about this one? Plutonium? That's just the ones we know about. Californium? You don't think plutonium's deadly? Now, by the way, so this was an old centrifuge process plant there. So, oh, well, we would test and pick it up. No, you won't. Plutonium particles they're not homogeneous. And they don't just, the solution to pollution is dilution. No, it's the opposite of that. The solution to pollution is not dilution. Because this is not pollution. This is radioactivity, which radioactivity is a big, broad term. It's a very broad term. Radiate, the sun radiate, they're plasma physicists, but so this particle doesn't just dilute, it floats, it's free radical, it's out there. You know, you might not get it, that one might not get it, but you might get it. You know, I got it. I call it the reverse lottery. Radio Roundup, you know, the Roundup, they spray that herbicide all over, pour it all over, and then they've captured the science, they've captured the academia, they've handcuffed. This is, and by the way, this is the university that built the nuclear reactors. I cannot overstate that. Weber State University is Utah Construction. Utah Construction merged with GE in 1975. Utah Construction was the parent. That Littlefield became the CEO. E.O. Watts, I mean, they build all the reactors, including all the Mach 1 and Mach 2 reactors. Whistleblowers came forward clear back in the 70s, says they're cheating, they're not meeting specifications. From right here. It was a big subject matter here when I was young. I've been blackballed at this university a long time ago. You know, I taught at the #1 school of business as a student professor with the great Dr. Cooley, with Kyle Matson, when the Chinese oligarchy hijacked the schools. Look it up, #1 school of business in the country. Ask Dr. Hanley. Oh, he just died. They're all dead. Bruce Davis just died. I mean, I call it the Wattis curse. They built the Mach 1 2s, you know. That's just for Fukushima, Japan. There's 44 of them here in the United States, including San Onofre, which that historic we're shutting down. And then I'm doing some work on the wells, some historic work on the grays right now. And so I'll post them because I'm getting ready to go to California for my gray well migration. I'll leave early in March, you know, and I'll migrate, you know, the starvation event again, and then the collapse of the humpbacks that's going on. So what they're telling you in Detroit, don't believe a word they say, because it all falls into the Patriot Act, just like Fukushima did. They classified it all under the Patriot Act. They can legally lie. They hide all the data, just like, you know, the virus going on in China. They're not going to tell us anything. You know, legally, they don't want to cause panic is their thing. Just like, well, you know, the beast, I used to tell people, go in the Ogden Breakyard and look at what died from the beast. What was that? That was the Spanish flu. But Fukushima hammered the hell out of us. They hid all the data. They've been hiding all the data the entire time. Go after me? Why do you think not one politician, including Mitt Romney, asked him right to his face right there? Did he say a word? I said, you obviously have to know about Fukushima. You ran for president. You obviously had to be brief. They won't talk because they can't. It's been classified. You know? They hired PR firms to troll my accounts. I've proven it. Proven it. Why I'm in critical condition. Fighting for my life. And I got a big day coming up because it's going to be 8 years from that day, February 26th. You know, I deal with multiple doctors. And I don't get to see my doctors enough because I ran out of money and I got caught off Medicaid. You know, I have multiple doctors because I had open heart surgery too, not long ago. Aortic valve replaced, my gallbladder ruptured. So I see multiple doctors and they try to network together as much as they can on me, but I don't have any money. So I don't get to see them nearly as much because I have to pay. You know, I don't have any insurance, so I have to pay them. You know, so I don't get to see my oncologist enough. I don't get to see my cardiologist nearly enough. But, you know, what a journey, 8 years. And so I was thinking about it today, the last few days, you know, because when Damian Lillard got beat by Anthony Johnson in the Big Sky Championship game, Anthony Johnson says I had an out-of-body experience. I really look back on this from the day I got cancer till now. It really